This Hangout on air is live. For those of you that are watching, we will be ready to go in a minute. I'm an idiot. I never put the embed for the podcast on the site. On those days. All right. All right. Yes, I'm ready here. I'm ready there. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, Webisode 643, the Reshiram Podcast.
Gonna give him the old Reshiram.
Mom Brain, can you tell us about Reshiram, please?
Reshiram.
Reshiram. Oh, wow. Paragraph.
Well, this is like the cover star of Pokemon. I believe it was Black and White.
Well, it also has a feathered penis. It looks like.
Yes, I do have a feathered penis.
Reshiram is a white colored bipedal Pokemon with draconic, avian, and mammalian traits.
Bipenal.
A long, voluminous, wispy mane streams out from the upper side of the snout and outward from its head.
Yes.
The top of the mane is adorned with 2 protrusions which resemble ears. Reshiram's face is fringed with spiky features and has a small pointed extension below the
Penis.
chin.
Oh.
Its eyes have blue irises and black pupils. There are 2 pairs of pointed teeth visible when its mouth is open, one in the upper and one in the lower jaw. Reshiram has a long and slender neck with a fluffy collar-like protrusion jutting out of its gray glass-like neck bands. Its arms begin slender and arm-like, but then flare out into more wing-like appearance, supporting 4 claws which resemble hands on the leading edge. There are plates at the back of Reshiram's hands, in quotes, that sport a similar color to its neck rings. Reshiram has a feathered or furry feature on its chest with the lower portion protruding outwards towards a point. That's the dick. Long feather-like protrusions jut out of its thighs. On its feet are large gray claws, 3 at the front and 1 pointed at the back, resembling high heels. Reshiram's tail is a mass plume and ribbon.
Shoes.
Is a mass of plume and ribbon-like extensions surrounded by 2 large bands, similar to the ones around its neck. Reshiram has a jet engine-like tail.
Oh, there's 5 more paragraphs.
Which it uses to accelerate itself when flying at high speeds. It can send flames from its tail into the air to incinerate everything around it. By flaring its tail, Reshiram is capable of moving the world's atmosphere and changing the weather.
I know.
This tail generator is also activated when influenced by either Fusion Bolt or Bolt Strike, which in turn powers up Reshiram's own Fusion Flare or Blue Flare.
We have enough, please!
A few more sentences. In Unova mythology, Reshiram sided with the older brother who sought the truth. As a result, it firmly believes
Buzz. The older brother was Buzz.
Your girlfriend. It's number 643. It's Dragon Fire type. Its ability is Turbo Blaze. It is genderless.
Turbo Blaze!
10 feet tall, 727 pounds.
Whoa, that's pretty fat for 10 feet tall,
Take this
though.
away from me,
right?
please.
Wait, did you actually read everything that was on there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice job.
The whole thing?
Well, I mean, the bio that I read for all of them.
Yeah, she read all of the first part.
I just meant the bio.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Look at that jet engine tail, baby.
Look at that feathered dick.
Look at that feathered dick. Oh, I need this. What am I doing?
That's why
I'm like, all right, thanks. Goodbye, everybody. Hi, Kirby. Hi, Mom Brain. How are you two?
Great. How are
Pretty
you?
good.
I'm great. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. How are you?
All right. So we got a couple things I want to talk about this week before we get into the regular news. Oh, I got to do the important stuff. Hello, Link, Triforce, and Zoso. And what's going on with my chat here? Screw it. And Drew, and It's a Trap, and ZX Billy, and Matt, and Inglorious Bastards, and Roth, and Yellow Wolf, and Cumulative, and Robert, and Grantimus, and Turquoise Gold Scraper, and Sneaker Hacks, and Sweet JP. Great. What is your avatar? Is that it looks like a different version of Lupin the Third. And Boy Meets Nintendo, and whoever else and Nader Die, and Jarian XP, and whoever else I didn't see. Thanks for joining us today on this, the first snowfall of December, right?
Yes.
It hasn't snowed at all.
I don't think so.
Hopefully this is the last time it snows, but I looked at the weather and it looks like that's not true.
I mean,
Hate snow. Hate it. Used to love it.
You're
Used
not
to
the
love
one
it.
who has to take care of it.
What do you mean?
You sit inside where it's warm and no movement is required, and I go out and take care of all of it. I'm not sure what you have to complain about.
I've talked about this in the past. I don't like snow because it makes me worry about friends and family when they're out and about driving.
Or maybe out and about clearing the neighborhood of snow. No, I don't worry about that. In a boot last year?
Who are you talking about?
Me?
You?
Yes. Last year I had to take care of all the snow with an injured foot.
All of it. Every last bit of it.
I
all
did
the
ours.
face.
I did Rudy's. You really don't have any room to complain.
Rudy, you're
You
not.
have nowhere to go. You don't have to take care of it.
You're not listening to my complaint. I worry about friends and family when they're out and about. Like, people have to go to work. People need to shop. People have to go to work in the morning, and they got to drive in the snow, and they're like, I got to do it because my kids need food, and I got to be a provider. And then they just slide off the road into oblivion. And then, you know what? Then the kids don't eat. You know what the kids eat? They eat their parents' burning flesh.
You ever worry about me getting into a car accident on the road in the snow?
I worry about you getting into a car accident when there's not snow on the ground. I've been in the car when you pulled those G's before.
Maybe like the time I did get into a car accident in the snow.
That's
coming
true.
to pick you up.
Well, now you're a better driver for it. So, hello, Lewis. Hello, Murasaki. So, hello, Umbrian. Yes, it is the first snow here. Hopefully, we don't have a bad winter. We didn't have a bad winter last year.
No, it was pretty mild, except for that one weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, first things first, I want to do this. Our friends at Nicholas were nice, and I will pass this to Kirby in a minute. Our friends at Nicholas were nice enough to send us a surprise today. They sent us the retail copy of The End Is Nigh, which is the new game by Edmund McMillan, the man who created The Binding of Isaac. So this is his new game coming to Switch retail and eShop. And as you know, Nicholas always does some wonderful stuff with their retail packaging. So inside, you have a lovely old school style, as in like
Oh Lord.
NES style,
Aww.
like instruction booklet.
Oh, is it in color?
Full color, yes,
Nice.
It is. Full color. I mean, it's great. It's really well done. Nice drawings and look, all that good stuff. So that's included in there. Obviously, the game card is in there as well. But then you also get, now let's see, what's this character's name? Ash. Okay. So you get a little like squishy Ash guy, but it's like one of those like
Squishy Ash.
sticky hands, but it's not that sticky.
Oh.
But it feels. Go ahead. He looks like
He'd pick up
a
a lot of
Malamar.
cat
He looks
hair.
like a Malamar.
He kind of does. It's like a little black Malamar.
Yeah, even like the base of him and everything.
Ew.
Want to hold up the Malamar to the camera there, please? There you go. Perfect. And then also
Ash.
there is, Kirby, if you wouldn't mind showing off the reversible cover. There's
Sit up here.
you have the lovely regular cover, and then inside you have a fancy artwork cover. So yeah, another cool retail package from Nicholas. Thank you to them for sending this our way. I know some retail outlets have this. I just don't remember what the street date is. I want to say it's like the 14th. I could be wrong there, but if you like
Pina coladas.
hard platformers, then I think you would like this game. I mean, if you've played Edmund McMillan's games before, any of the ones he's been involved with, you should have a good idea of what you're getting out of The End Is Nigh, and that's my type of game. So I'm excited for that. All right, there's that. ZX Billy, you're saying exactly what I'm thinking. ZX Billy says, I have an uncontrollable urge to bite it. Yeah. You want to bite into it?
I get to the marshmallowy center.
The ashy center. All right, so I want to show that off. That's something else I want to talk about because, we talk about a lot of non-Nintendo stuff on this podcast, but this is kind of Nintendo related, I guess. I'll start it off that way. WWE 2K18 is out on the Switch, and apparently it's not very good, which is very sad to hear because that's the one I was going to get. But anyway, so I was, it's Friday night. I had my round of work done. I was just enjoying my time on the internet, going around Reddit, reading some stuff. And I came across this post about Mia Khalifa, who is a former porn star. And now she, I guess, does sports commentary on certain sports programs. And I believe she has her own YouTube show and a podcast or whatever.
Is she related to Wiz Khalifa?
She is not,
Okay.
no. She's like the most, I would say, well-known. Did I say former porn star?
Yes.
She's former porn star. Lebanese porn actress.
Oh,
but
she's
yes,
Lebanese, okay.
now she has moved on. But anyway, I caught a post on Reddit yesterday where she was talking about WWE and Ronda Rousey, because the rumor is that Ronda Rousey is going to WWE because Ronda's a huge WWE fan and has been for a very long time. So, but in this discussion, it was Mia Khalifa and these three other people, and they're just talking about it. And she was so unbelievably disrespectful. It blew my mind. I was like, I can't believe someone can just flat out think this negatively about something. So they were talking about Ronda potentially going to WWE, and she was like, she didn't just say she doesn't like wrestling. Lots of people don't like wrestling. I get it. I don't get it, but I understand. But she was saying like,
She says it's for dumb white trash.
no, she said like do something. She has no respect for anyone that is in the WWE, and she said like Ronda should get some self-respect, and it's such a downgrade and all this stuff. Like I don't want to, those aren't her exact words, but she did talk about self-respect, and she doesn't respect the WWE and all that stuff, or professional wrestling in general, I should say. And the people on the panel with her were just very quiet while she was talking about it, because this was like, it was coming from a place of hatred. And I'm like, man, like someone who was in the porn industry, you would think would
be a little more understanding.
Yeah, because they're judged very harshly. And you would think, yeah, that's why I'm so surprised. I guess you'd be a part of the porn industry, a job that, everybody watches porn, but a job that still has a stigma attached to it. And a lot of people say, like, you have no respect for yourself to do something like that. So you think working in an industry, she would be more accepting or understanding of whatever the job might be, as long as it's not something out to hurt someone. But no, she was just, it was mind-blowing to me. I still can't get over it. It's just crazy. I don't understand it. To say that Ronda Rousey is going to lose all respect and it's downgraded and all that stuff because she's going to WWE after like I'm not knocking UFC or MMA or any of that stuff, but literally that's people punching each other in the face. Like that's how they're making their living. And I have nothing wrong with that. And I respect what those people do, definitely. But like, I don't understand why punching someone in the face is a valid way or a respectful way to earn a living, whereas WWE isn't. Because, obviously, yes, the matches are predetermined, but you have, oh, no, not now. You have, like, acting and physical prowess and choreography. And, there's been plenty of WWE people or professional wrestlers in general who have made the leap over to the Hollywood scene, coming from with varying degrees of success. Obviously, you have The Rock, the highest paid actor in the entire world. And we were just talking about this recently. His earlier movies, his acting was terrible, but his acting now is more than serviceable for what he's doing.
He's come a long way.
Yeah. And John Cena's going into acting and doing all that stuff. There's been plenty of wrestlers. Edge is on some History Channel show right now, I think, about.
Oh, okay.
Let's say Vikings.
Makes sense.
I don't know. On this day. But yeah, it was just surprising. You should look up the comments on your own just to see what she was talking about. It just blew my mind. Hold on 1 second.
Everything all right?
Yes, I got a message from Jules Watcham, and he needed me to answer something.
Picture of a duck on Reddit that has claws on its wings. Do all ducks have claws on their wings?
Why don't you meet them face to face and find out?
Like their shoulder parts of their wings, kind of. The elbow, kind of, I guess, would be where it is. Elbow.
Really?
Robert, I did not hear about that, but I'd be interested to check it out. Oh, yes. Hello, Christopher. Christopher says, I haven't listened to the show in about 3 or 4 years. I'm happy to see it's still going. Yes, Christopher, we've been waiting for you to come back, damn it. Now you're finally here. Yes, the leg lamp has joined us today because that's what Mom Brain deemed for today. And as
I actually want it in the front window.
We don't have a front window to put it in. It's too much stuff there.
We do have a front window.
Got to move the couch into the middle of the living room. Sorry, guys. We had to take the couch downstairs for Christmas season because we need the leg lamp here.
We had it there last year.
I know.
I think he's embarrassed by it.
Yeah, probably.
It's a major award. Why would I be embarrassed?
I want the whole neighborhood. This is a major award.
Mind power.
What?
Mind power.
So let's talk about some Nintendo news. Believe it or not, this week we talked about this on the hello Lineage. We talked about this on the podcast last week, and we were hoping it would happen, and it actually happened. Capcom revealed Mega Man 11, and yes, it's coming to the Switch. So Mega Man 11 coming to the Switch in 2018. We got to see a teaser trailer for it. I want to point out they said late 2018, but yes, it's real. It exists, and it's a classic style Mega Man, but with a new, updated, fresh look. Not as far as like Mega Man looks. His design has changed a little bit, but by and large, he looks like Mega Man. It's just like now you have like I don't know. It looks like Mighty Number 9 if Mighty Number 9 looked better. That's okay. Mean to say, but that's the vibe that I get.
If the game looked like that.
But yeah, it's a classic Mega Man style. You're gonna have 8 Robot Masters, and there's gonna be a new mechanic that they're not talking about specifically, but they did tease it a little bit. And all your classic stuff is there. The Mega Buster and sliding ability is still there. And then when you get weapons, it now changes how Mega Man looks outside of just color. So like he'll have little different changes to his suit, and his helmet will look different based on that as well. Oh, and something else important to point out. Now, when you choose weapons, you can do so with the right analog stick. So Mega Man games, when they first started, you had to pause the game to select what weapon you wanted. Then when we got controls for more buttons, you could use the shoulder buttons to scroll through. Now, with 2 joysticks on all platforms that this game is coming to, you use the right joystick in a wheel formation to just point to the thing that you want. So, you can get used to the direction for the items or for the weapons that you use most and just flick the joystick that way, and there you go. So I'm excited because I'm a big Mega Man fan. We need to see more, obviously, but what I've seen lets me know that they're taking it seriously, and they're not deviating a lot from what makes Mega Man Mega Man. So I'm happy. The Dreaming Hawk says, holy moly, this game looks great. Pretty much what Mighty Number 9 should have been from the get-go, in my opinion. Yes, it feels like a lot of people are thinking the same way. So, hey, Mom Brain.
Yes, dear.
Did you know that Resident Evil was originally in development for the Super Nintendo?
No.
What system did Resident Evil first come out on?
I want to say it might have been a PlayStation. A PlayStation.
Can I have a number?
The first one.
Final answer.
Yes.
You are correct. The original PlayStation, yes. But turns out it was actually in development for the Super Nintendo first. That's according to Capcom's Koji Oda. He says, typically games would take half a year and no longer than a year to develop. So I feel I was able to take part in a lot of different projects. It's not well known, but before Resident Evil went to PlayStation, I was working on it for the Super Nintendo. This was back before the name Resident Evil had even been assigned to it. The code name for this was literally just horror game. On the Super Nintendo, we were working with limited hard drive space, so it's not like we could dump a movie in there. If we had actually completed it for Super Nintendo, I'm sure it would have been considerably different. For example, it was originally set in a place that had nothing to do with reality, more of a hellish place. Well, there you go. We could have...
So we could have had Resident Evil without any voice acting.
Yes.
Imagine that.
No Jill sandwich.
Yeah.
No Jibble sandwich. I have to wonder if somewhere inside Capcom's offices there's like a prototype of this game or whatever they were working on at the time. I would love to see that. That stuff leaks out from time to time. You never know where it might pop up. So if there is something there, it could happen. Entity says, at least give us some pictures of the prototype. Yeah, I want to see.
Yeah, was it still like a 3D game?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. They didn't say. They didn't give any art. They didn't give any screens. We just have to imagine it. And everybody knows using your imagination is dumb. Yes?
Using your imagination is one of the greatest things that a human being can do. I used to use my imagination a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. It's all gone now.
I like to imagine things all the time.
Go ahead. I'll open myself up. I thought there was going to be like a joke there.
No.
Oh. Just like to imagine things?
I'm an imaginative person, I think.
Yeah, like who else would have, imagined their cat having his own talk show?
That's true. Except that was real. That wasn't imaginary. For those who are playing Pokemon Go, there are now 50 Pokemon originally found in the Hoenn region are now in Pokemon Go. So, dozens of Pokemon originally discovered in the Hoenn region are now available to discover, catch, and collect in Pokemon Go. Pokemon including Trico, Torchic, and Mudkip can now be discovered in the real world, with more Hoenn region Pokemon arriving in the coming weeks. Also,
Merry Christmas!
For the first time in an augmented reality mobile game, real-world weather will now be a factor in the gameplay experience.
That's cool.
As trainers are exploring the world around them in search of Pokemon, the current weather in their vicinity will be visible on the in-game map. The real-world weather around trainers will impact the gameplay of Pokemon Go in a variety of ways that includes changing Pokemon habits and where they can be found, increasing combat power, and earning more Stardust after catching a Pokemon. That's gold dust. That's gold dust.
I mean, but it's close enough.
So yeah, Alien Boy VA, a reader of the site, sent us a bit of information.
What's that?
Why are we doing that?
I felt like it.
Sorry, Alien Boy VA. He sent us some information
exactly.
about
try it sometimes.
how when you're playing the game, it not only will have in-game weather that matches what's going on in your real-world location, but it will also alert you to hazardous weather. So if Pokemon Go thinks it's too dangerous for you to be outside trying to catch Pokemon, they'll let you know. So this update's available now, and it is free, obviously. And a lot of people have been waiting for this one, so now, hopefully you're out there. Whoa. How do I say this? Adamar 440 says, first podcast in over 7 years.
What?
How nostalgic. What the hell's going on today? Why are there so many...
People must be really freaking bored.
there's so many lapsed people coming back today. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see you again. This week, Nintendo was nice enough to send me Super Mario cereal. Yeah, I got to talk about this, damn it. Not the cereal, some Mario related. But first, cereal. So if you want to see what the cereal looks like, you want to see somebody eat the cereal, and you want to hear somebody talk about what the cereal tastes like, then you can watch my video, which a lot of you did. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, I'll give you my details of the cereal right now as far as my my review of it. It's a good cereal. It's like Lucky Charms or any of the other ones that have those quote unquote marshmallows in them. But yeah, it's not any better or worse than any of those. So as long as you like those cereals, you should be good with this one. I've been eating it. Sadly,
There's a nice
it's almost
berry
gone.
taste to it.
Yes, it does have a nice berry
And it
taste.
even says, I think it's berry flavored.
It does say that, yes. The little, like, I don't know, oat pieces, I guess they are, which are stars, are the berry flavored things. And then you have your marshmallow, one-up mushrooms and Mario hats and question mark blocks. So I think that's available in stores, at least in the United States this week. Hello, Red Pill. So you can go out there and get it. And again, the box includes an amiibo, or I guess the box is an amiibo. So you can hold up your Joy-Con to the box and scan in the cereal box. First comment comes from SD Sticker, and he says, best with a side of Nintendo Switch cartridges. Yes. You lick a cartridge and get that nice bitter taste in your mouth, and then you eat the cereal, which is nice and sweet. So the thing I need to talk about, hello, Al Delmar. Al Delmar says, hi, guys, watching live on YouTube. Oh, my God. We're broadcasting live on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Rocket.
Wait, we're live?
And do Mario, yes. So,
yes, Mario.
I've heard. Let me talk about this guy. Conan O'Brien says Mario the way I used to say Mario. So he says Mario.
Well, yeah, he's from Boston. So,
am I from Boston?
Nope.
No.
Well, am I adopted?
It's not just a Boston thing. I think it's also like a Jersey thing. I remember watching like the first episode of The Sopranos, and I think Edie Falco says like Mario Kart.
Oh, well then that's got to be the right way to say it. If they're saying Mario on The Sopranos.
The thing is, there's no right or wrong way to say it. It all depends on like your
What if I said Mario?
Then that would be wrong. I'm talking between Mario and Mario. Like
I'm talking about Mario. Between the two right ways to say it.
Yes.
That's good.
I think it's just a regional thing.
It's just funny because I heard him say it twice this week, because he said it once when they were covering the cereal on his own show, and then I heard it again during the Game Awards where he introduced the games that were nominated for Game of the Year, and Super Mario Odyssey was one of them. So, did you see the crazy guy at the Game Awards? No. If you'd know what I was talking about. So if you didn't watch the Game Awards, I'm sure you've heard about this guy now. There's a developer at EA who's working on, oh boy. This is where my wrestling brain and my video game brain get mixed up. It's called A Way Out. It's not called No Way Out, because that's a wrestling thing. It's something about Way Out. And he was brought up not on the side stage to talk about this game, and he said he was jet lagged, but I think it's very clear he was a way out. Thank you, Santiago. I think it's clear he was at least very drunk. And so the Game Awards are streamed live on YouTube and a million other things, but they're not on TV, so there's no worries about like censorship when it comes to cursing and stuff like that. So he just went nuts, and he was like, "F the Oscars." He's like, the Game Awards are where it's at.
I think I might have heard about.
He's talking about EA, and EA's publishing this game, A Way Out. And he was saying, like, publishers F up sometimes. It's no big deal. He's like, EA's been great to me. Blah 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 blah. But Jeff Keighley kept trying to steer the conversation back to his game, and the guy,
Jeff, that's so
just
awkward.
Wouldn't have it. And it was like 5 minutes long of him just like cursing like crazy and bad mouthing the Oscars, and bringing up hot button issues that I'm sure EA doesn't want him to talk about. I'm sure they don't want a guy that is a developer under their branch talking about all the stuff that EA is going through right now. So, I don't think he's going to be invited back next year, but it was certainly interesting to see. In some way, it was a good thing, because it's the type of moment they would never show on TV. Like, you'd never get to see it. And unfortunate for Jeff, I'm sure, because he didn't want any of that to happen. But It was interesting. Thank you, Aloe Wolf. Yeah, I haven't posted on GoNintendo yet. I should talk about that. You're right. Murasaki says, it's a me, Mary O. Just Marry space O. Yes, there's a new Parents Play this week. I had time to edit it. It's my parents playing L.A. Noire, which turned out to be very funny because they can't drive in the game. And in the beginning, there's lots of driving. So it worked out really well. You can check that out on the YouTube channel right now if you want to. You don't have to. Turns out the rumor about the Detective Pikachu movie was true. There were 5 names being floated around as potential voices for Detective Pikachu himself. And one of the rumored actors turned out to be the pick.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
As Pikachu.
Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu.
Right.
Detective Pikachu, please. He worked hard to earn that title. So, yes. Is this... I guess it's not. You know, Pikachu only ever says Pikachu.
So, yeah, this can't be the same Pikachu that's in the cartoon, right?
Well, there's a Detective Pikachu game in Japan that never came here. I don't know what the full story is for it. But, yeah, it's got to be a different Pikachu.
Yeah, must be an alternate timeline or something.
I don't.
Where Pokemon can talk.
I mean, I need to hear him doing it. I could hear it being fine. Like in my mind, I can hear him voicing it being fine. I know The Rock was also in there, and I can't hear that. Yeah. I don't hear The Rock as a good voice actor. Like when we were watching Moana.
You didn't like his.
I thought his voice acting was a little lackluster.
Would you say?
But voice acting's hard.
Would you say that to his face? Hey, Rock. Real pleasure.
I mean,
I love your work. I thought your work in Moana was a bit lackluster.
It wouldn't be the first thing I'd say to the guy. I'd be like, "Hey, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I think you're great."
You say like, "I'm a fan of yours." Yeah, I'm just a huge wrestling fan.
So I don't want to lie to the guy. I'm not a fan of him, but like,
you know, one of my
if I met Shawn Michaels, I'd be like, "I'm a huge fan of yours." If I met The Rock, I'd be like, "I'm really big into wrestling."
One of my most embarrassing moments is when...
I appreciate what The Rock does for wrestling now and then. But I appreciate
for the millions.
The art form that Shawn Michaels brought to wrestling. Like, The Rock wrestling is very... You know, like, it's like... I think The Rock is better than Hulk Hogan. But, like, you know, when you watch Hulk Hogan, you're not like, look at that man's technical prowess in wrestling. He had like
because you're too distracted by his hair and his skin.
Rock, pleasure to meet you. I think you're better than Hulk Hogan.
Too distracted by his hot dog qualities.
Yeah.
That's gross.
But yeah, like you know, The Rock microphone skills, like speaking in the ring, one of the best without a doubt. So I could say that. HBK, I wouldn't say he was one of the best on a mic. He was more than fine, but
probably because he couldn't see it.
But yeah, whatever. The Rock, I couldn't hear him as Pikachu, but we're getting Ryan Reynolds, so I guess we'll see how that turns out. Sometimes you see a story and you're like, this is like it's from The Onion, but it's not. First comment comes from Wobble Bobble. And Wobble Bobble says, he's not Danny goddamn Vito, is how I feel. A wasted opportunity, yes. We all wanted that. I mean, I can hear that perfectly, and it'd be great. I could hear Danny DeVito as anybody, and it'd be great. Well, man, somebody pay him to do his own dub of the movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
If I was a millionaire, that's where my money would go.
You need a Kickstarter for that.
Money well spent. So a while ago, Sony was like, we don't really care about the Switch. You know, we're happy for Nintendo's success and all that, but we're not, you know, whatever. They're doing their thing. Well, that was a while ago. And now the Switch is still doing well. And Sony's head of corporate planning, Kazuhiko Takeda, was asked about Sony's profit forecast and all that stuff. So this isn't just like the guy that does gaming. This is Sony in general. He's asked about their profit forecast. And he talks about how their greatest risk right now is losing their intensity. And this is caused by certain issues. And the interviewer says, what issues? And he says, at our gaming business, sales of the PS4 are strong heading into the holidays. But we can't ignore the Switch, which has also captured consumers' attention. Our business model involves selling both the game console and software for it. So we're working to get more customers paying continuously for content, for example, through paid subscription services. So basically he's saying, listen, we see the Switch out there and we see it's doing well and we can't afford to ignore it. So people are like, well, now they're going to copy the Switch. I mean, it's not like Sony hasn't done that stuff before. I don't think that's what they're going to do here, but they are saying we recognize it as competition now. And they specifically say the Switch and nothing about Xbox. Wouter has a top-rated comment, and he says, it's really obvious, Sony. Just release your exclusives on the Switch. I'd buy Horizon Zero Dawn on Switch full price. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up from me.
I don't think that's going to happen. North America. Sorry. I don't some here. Excuse me.
Out, man.
North America this week's downloads. What do we get? The Switch got Floor Kids.
What?
What do you think Floor Kids is about, Mom Brain?
Dancing. Kids who dance. Break dancing.
Floor Kids is a unique breakdance game.
Oh, okay.
Featuring dance battles, freestyle gameplay, and funky beats. Discover original hand-drawn animation by John John, a fresh soundtrack by Kid Koala, and innovative controls that allow you the freedom to play the way you like. Lead your crew of B-boys and B-girls through the city, unlock new characters and locations, battle against your friends, and discover new combos as you rock to the beat and find your style. See, I love rhythm games, but I don't like rhythm games where you have to freestyle, where you like put together your own stuff. I like rhythm games that are like boop, boop, beat, boop, boop, beat. So you're like square, square, X, X, square, triangle.
Yeah.
Or BBA, XBBY, something like that. When it comes to putting together your own dance moves, I'm like, I want to try it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also,
you're just not much of a dancer.
I'm not. I'm definitely not. Also available on December 12th, so I was wrong. I said December 14th, but December 12th, The End Is Nigh comes out. WWE 2K18, which they say is the most realistic WWE video game experience. But I hear it's very bad on Switch, unfortunately. Very slow frame rate. And then I think that's really just the biggest issue with the Switch version, because I've seen other complaints about it, but those are all like par for the course when it comes to WWE games. So if they can fix this frame rate issue, that would go a long way to make things much better.
Haven't like the past couple of WWE games been like kind of poor?
They're not poor, but they could be much better.
Okay.
I think the thing is, it's like Madden. They're like, we have no competition. No one else is making a football game. No one else is making a wrestling game.
Don't try hard enough.
So they don't have to. They don't have the competition there. Yes, I would say the earlier days of WWE games. Maybe like the PS3, 360, Wii generation, there were some good ones in there. But during the N64 era, there was a lot of great wrestling games, and the graphics were worse, but obviously it didn't matter. The gameplay was a lot of fun. Santiago says, and he's got Stone Cold Steve Austin as his avatar, so he knows. He says it's pretty bad frame rate even on entrances, and bad and missing textures on wrestlers like beards and hair. Well, maybe they have alopecia. Also available. What is this? Mom Brain.
Hello Kitty?
No.
Oh.
Animal Crossing Winter Frolics theme. Animal Crossing New Leaf Jingles Toy Day theme.
Ooh.
Any Animal Crossing Isabelle theme. So some themes you might actually be interested in. Also new this week, Top Hunter, Roddy and Kathy. That's a Neo Geo game. Acorn Tactics, which is not about acorns or squirrels or anything like that. It's like
or tactics.
It's it's like mechs. like spider-looking mechs. Dimension Drive is available on Switch. Embers of Miram is on Switch. Gunbird is on Switch. Human Fall Flat is on Switch. Lost Sphere got a demo on Switch. Party Planet is on Switch. Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Overdrive is on Switch. Plague Road is on Switch. Plantera Deluxe is on Switch. Red Game Without a Great Name is on Switch. Riptide GP Renegade is on Switch. Slain Back from Hell is on Switch. Tennis in the Face is on Switch. Teslagrad's on the Switch. The Sexy Brutal is on the Switch. Touch Battle Tank SP is on the Switch. Vostok Inc. is on the Switch. Yodanji is on Switch. There's a demo version.
Yodanji is showing.
There's a demo version of Robonauts on the Switch. Woo! 3DS finally saw the release of 80s Overdrive, that racing game that's like Outrun. Christmas Night Archery is on the 3DS.
What?
Christmas Night Archery. What? Whatever. I don't get it. Japanese Rail Sim 3D Travel of Steam. That sounds like somebody that put the name. That sounds like a title for a game that was just straight from Google Translate. They took the Japanese name and all right, put it in English. All right, the name's going to be Japanese Rail Sim 3D Travel of Steam. Square Boys versus Bullies Arena Edition is on 3DS. And finally, RTO is on Wii U. So we told you guys it was going to be a big week of stuff. And it indeed was. Over 20 titles available on the Switch alone. Now, when it comes to Europe, what did Europe get? They got WWE 2K18, Neo Geo, Top Hunter, Roddy and Cathy. These are all Switch. Caveman Warriors, Dimension Drive, Embers of Miram, Gunbird, Human Fall Flat, Nine Parchments, Phantom Breaker, Riptide GP Renegade, The Sexy Brutal, Slain Back from Hell, Tennis in the Face, Teslagrad, Vostok Inc., and Yodanji. Tennis in the Face, yes.
These titles are great.
You can get pre-orders on Mutant Mudds Collection and Ukulele. There's a special deal for people who pre-order Mutant Mudds Collection. You get the game at an even cheaper price. Switch demos, there's Lost Sphere and Embers of Miram. There's DLC, blah, blah. 3DS, they also got Christmas Night Archery. Japanese Rail Sim 3D Travel of Steam and Square Boy versus Bullies Arena Edition. Wii U Virtual Console got Bomberman, Panic Bomber, and Salamander. And there's sales on stuff. There you go. Lots of stuff, man. My backlog for games is so big. Rocket says, is it for shooting Christmas lights? I have no idea what it is. I don't know what that archery game is at all, but it's Christmas, and it's night, and I think it's Christmas night. I don't know why you'd be shooting a bow and arrow on Christmas night.
Doing archery in the dark would be really dangerous.
I agree with that. Sligar Iyer says, the sales are terrible. They were even worse last week. I hope the big sales are being stockpiled for Christmas. Bought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 yesterday. WWE 2K18 appears to be a train wreck, even more so on the Switch. That deluxe digital version for £90 is a bad joke. Angry. Let your hatred flow. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle got a free versus mode. So now you can play against people for free. How sharp are your Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle tactics? Sharp enough to test against another human player?
No.
No. No, and I'm done reading. Pitting you against a friend on the same system and playable with either two controllers or a pair of Joy-Con versus challenges players to handpick their 3 hero squads and use every attack and technique available to them to claim victory across small, surprise-filled maps. So yeah, versus mode. Apparently it's not online. It is local multiplayer, but it is a co-op mode. All right, that's not true. It is a, I don't know what the hell I'm saying.
It is Saturday, my dudes.
It is Saturday, my dudes. But it is free. MeReal says, so awesome. I always wonder why the game didn't include a mode like this. Better late than never. Yes, it is not online. I just want to point that out. Local multiplayer only. Hey, Kirby.
Yeah.
Shantae Half Genie Hero is getting a limited physical release on the Switch.
Oh, I think I heard that.
It is the Ultimate Day 1 edition. It's coming out in North America and Europe in spring 2018. It will include everything that was originally released in Shantae Half Genie Hero, as well as the Risky Beats soundtrack with 30 tracks, an art book, the Pirate Queen's Quest DLC, and costume mode, and the Friends to the End DLC, which isn't even out yet, but soon will be. Pretty sweet deal. I would buy for the art book alone.
How about that
I love the art in those games. I want to study that art. Night Owl says, yes, so glad I waited.
Naked art?
I'm going to get this ASAP. Well, it's way forward, so there will be some fan service in there without a doubt.
So they'll be practically naked.
You'll see everything but the nipple.
Nakedly practical.
Everything except the nipples and buttholes.
No butthole, that's true. Way forward has a very hard line against butthole.
It is vulgar.
Mom Brainy, you know what you can do when you get older to make sure you don't lose all your brain power and function?
You can
do crossword puzzles.
Grad school. You can
yeah.
continue your education. I think I just read an article about that.
No.
You don't so
No,
be
screw
physically
that.
active.
No, that's wrong. These are all wrong.
Oh.
A new study.
Have you forgotten?
What?
Do you lack the brain power?
A new study showed, by testing old people, that playing 3D platformers can actually help your brain.
So you're keeping your father's brain as
It helps
sharp
keep
as
your
can be.
hippocampus activated and feeling young. And they found this out by testing these old people. They had 3 groups of old people. One of them played Super Mario 64. The other group played the piano. And a third group didn't do anything.
They just sat there and
Yes,
rotted.
they were old. They just said, be old and get older. And they all did it. And the Super Mario 64 players showed the biggest improvement.
Good for them.
So, if you are old or are thinking about getting old one day, you could play some platformers and it might help you out a little bit.
How old are we talking?
60s and up.
I don't really think 60 is old. I'd say
It's old.
70.
It's old. Sokar says, well, video games make you smarter, so it's a no-brainer.
Wow.
Wow.
Witty.
At the Game Awards, Nintendo
Some
showed
weird
off
drunk guy embarrassed himself.
showed off the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Champions Ballad DLC, and they were like, here's the first trailer for this to show you what's really going on. And now it's available. Boom. It was available the same night, and I'm sure many of you have been playing it. But they had an even bigger surprise for Switch owners.
Bayonetta!
Bayonetta 1 and 2 are coming to the Switch. So if you didn't get Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U, you will now have a chance to play it on the Switch. And yes, that also includes the original Bayonetta. So you can get both games for the price of $60 altogether, so $30 a game, basically. That will be at retail and eShop. If you're going the retail route, if you live in the States, you get Bayonetta 2 physically on a game card, and a download code is included in the box for the original Bayonetta. Japan, Australia, and Europe are getting a special edition retail version, which includes a steelbook and cards and stickers. And in Japan, the special edition is called the Bayonetta Non-Stop Climax Edition.
I like it.
But in Europe and everywhere else, it's just called the Special Edition. But even more exciting is the fact that they showed a teaser trailer for Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 is in development for the Switch, and it is a Switch exclusive. And yes, of course, Platinum Games is working on it. So that's really awesome news. The Bayonetta series continues and will be a Switch exclusive yet again. And we don't know when it's going to release, but there is a teaser trailer if you haven't checked that out. And you get Bayonetta. So shooting and lollipops and hair and nakedness and over the topness, and That little Danny DeVito guy. That's not Danny DeVito.
Oh, no, he was like the fake Joe Pesci guy.
Joe Pesci. Yes, that's what I meant.
Do you confuse them? Because sometimes I confuse them.
No, I don't normally, but
Yeah,
I don't think I do.
Danny DeVito's got to be shorter.
Danny DePesci.
Danny DePesci.
Oh my God.
Top rated comment comes from Mr. Ryan. He says, "So it begins, the great meltdown of our time." Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think like that Bayonetta is exclusive to Nintendo platforms. There are more Bayonetta games exclusive to Nintendo platforms than there are not. The original, man, I would, if somebody when the original Bayonetta came out was like, hey, in the future, Nintendo is going to have these games exclusive, I'd be like, oh, I don't think so. But here we are. Joe DeVito says cumulative. What else we got here?
No.
Oh, we don't need to do that. Oh dear, is that all the? Is that it? What's today? Yeah, that's it. Look at that. Okay, we're done. 10 minutes early, but this one is Kirby. You play anything? No.
Question.
Come on, Brain. Come on.
Question.
I did. Well, you're gonna laugh.
Downloaded Animal Crossing.
No, I replayed Brutal Legend.
Really?
Yeah.
What put you in the mood for that?
The thing is, I bought it again. It was I noticed that it was on sale on Steam for like $1.50.
Oh well.
And yeah, I was just like, yeah, what the hell? And I don't think I had played the console version since it like first came out, and that was like almost 10 years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah, just about. It was like 2009.
Oh my God!
Right? And
was that long ago? Doesn't seem like it.
It really doesn't.
It's funny you're talking about it because at the Game Awards they showed a special trailer for Jumanji, the new Jumanji movie.
Yeah.
And it was recorded, the promo was specifically recorded for the Game Awards. They had Kevin Hart, The Rock, and Jack Black, and they were all talking about video games. And Kevin Hart was like, this is the first time we're ever going to be in a video game. And The Rock was like, I was in Spy Hunter. But Jack Black was like, I've been in a whole bunch of games.
That's true.
Brutal Legend, and he's going to be in Psychonauts 2, and he was in another.
Yeah, I never realized he ended up in Brutal Legend because he was such a big fan of Psychonauts, and he like got in touch with Tim Schafer. Yeah,
and now they're like best buds.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I played through the game all over again. I guess the PC version was released in 2013, and since I haven't played the original version in so long, it's really hard to. I can't really compare them too much. But I guess it looks a little nicer, and the frame rate's probably a little more steady. But unfortunately, the trade-off for that is there were a lot of glitches when I was playing, including the funniest one was the glitch where like characters' faces would be gone, but their eyes and mouths were still like floating around in their heads.
I just saw a glitch like this with the Telltale Batman game.
Oh, really?
It's similar. The characters had their faces, but their hair was moving independently of their bodies. So, like, Alfred's face was on his face, but his hair was, like, over here moving around. So when, like, Alfred moved to the left, his hair would move to the left, but it's, like, 2 feet away from where he is.
Oh, yeah, and also, oh, no, what happened?
Roy Moore has joined the chat.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Every week.
Oh, man. Roy Moore's in the chat. He says, hi, folks. Any Zelda fans here?
Oh, no. Nobody talked to this man.
That's bad. Anyway. Nobody's answering.
So, I wonder why.
It was, it was kind of glitchy. Another glitch was like, button prompts sometimes wouldn't show up on screen when they were supposed to.
Figure it out.
Stuff like that. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, like I said, I played through the whole game all over again, and I still really like this game.
Never played it.
No?
Wanted to. Never played it.
Oh, why didn't you play it?
Well, now that I know it's $1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was. I think it was like a Thanksgiving weekend sale or something.
So that means it's probably like $5 now.
5 or 15 or something. Yeah, and playing it again made me feel kind of sad for a couple of reasons. Like a couple of people that were involved with the game have died.
Have moved on.
Yeah, like Lemmy from Motorhead was in the game, and he died like a couple of years ago. And
Brain Slug.
Something I didn't realize was Ronnie James Dio was actually like I guess they had recorded like voice work with him. He was apparently supposed to play the main villain in the game, but they ended up replacing him with Tim Curry. But
I didn't know Tim Curry was in it.
Yeah, like a whole bunch of people are in it. And yeah, I guess they were like going to have Ronnie James Dio play a different character at some point, but then he died the same year that the game was released. What else? Oh yeah, and there's obviously like a lot of music in the game, and one of the songs included was a Death Clock song, and that reminded me that like Metalocalypse is never going to get a final season.
Yeah. What the hell's up with that? I love Adult Swim, but that makes me angry.
They are so petty. It just makes me so mad.
Yeah, right? I don't get it.
Yeah. And yeah, I never realized like what a troubled production history the game had. Like,
yes.
Like it was originally going to be released by Activision, but they passed on it. And then when I guess Double Fine tried to, bring it to another company, they got sued by Activision. So
I remember all that.
So they were like going through this lawsuit while they were working on the game. Then when the game was finally released through EA, they were like halfway through working on a sequel when it got canceled, and it almost like bankrupted the company. And they have some really bad luck with a lot of their games. Yeah, I feel
like all their games have, like Psychonauts is a sad story too. I mean, it saw release, but lots of publisher issues and trying to get the game picked up and all that, and then obviously didn't sell too well. But now we're getting a sequel thanks to crowdfunding and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I guess Brutal Legend didn't sell well enough for EA either. And
well, it's EA.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's because it's a very ambitious game. It's probably like I'd say the most ambitious thing Tim Schafer has done. And like playing through it's not that it felt unfinished. It just felt like there was supposed to be more of it.
Yeah. Travis says Iced Earth was on the soundtrack.
Yeah, I think 2 of their songs were in the soundtrack. And I actually was exposed to a lot of new bands because of that game's soundtrack.
Oh, that's cool. I need to get around to play it one day. It's been on my list of games that I know because I love their games in general. Like they're just a very quirky, different, unique company.
Yeah, and I'm not really like into real-time strategy games, and I guess a lot of people had a problem with the fact that was like the main most of the gameplay was like real-time strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And there were times for me when it did get frustrating, but like every so often, I would get to a point where everything would just click and like a new song would start playing and it would be something that I recognized and it would just like feel so badass. I'd be like, yeah!
I love those moments in games. I know exactly what you mean. Like when everything just comes together and the music's really like, it just all gets you going and you're like, I feel so awesome right now.
But, oh yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm almost done talking. Apparently EA tried to keep the real-time strategy elements like a secret because those kinds of games, I guess, don't sell well on consoles.
Sounds like an EA tactic.
And I guess that's why in the demo, like none of that stuff appears.
I didn't know that. Man, that's crazy. What the hell, EA? Come on. What a bad company.
Oh yeah, they basically got dicked over by two awful companies.
Yeah, right. And well, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a sequel. I didn't think we'd ever get a sequel to Psychonauts. So
I would love a sequel. Like I'm trying to be realistic about it. I know they're gonna have to like have a huge budget.
yeah, and they'll have to wrestle away the rights from EA, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. Hello, Retro As.
So that's all I played.
And the name King Clown. Mom Brain, how's Animal Crossing going?
It's good. I've lost a little bit of my zest. It's worn off. I'm playing, but I feel like, when they added the new holiday stuff, I thought, oh, that's cool. I'm going to try and collect that. And, now I just,
Oh,
excuse me.
What's it?
Almost said bazoon type.
Bazoongas.
Now I just feel like, it's all right. Like I'm not like, ooh, good. I have like a half hour I could sit and play. I feel like maybe if I were waiting in line somewhere or like waiting for
what do you need to
like,
bring the zest back?
I don't know.
Drugs?
Probably.
Like prescription drugs?
She needs to be an Animal Crossing drug dealer. Hello, Doomig. Yeah, I did Doomig because I have our questions open, so I had to disappear. I'm sorry.
What did you play this week, Rob?
Oh, thank you. I've been playing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Champions Ballad DLC. I really got in a good amount of time with that last night, so I am enjoying that. It's nice to have a reason to go back into the game, and there's brand new shrines to do and things to explore, and I'm really having fun with it. These new set of shrines that are part of this Champions Ballad DLC are very interesting and entertaining. I'm enjoying them a lot. There's some very unique ideas here, and they also have some shrines that are inspired by ones that were already in the game, but take them in a new direction and push them in a different way. So I like those a lot. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that. So I played that, and I am forgetting. Oh, played some more Worms. I played Worms WMD with Vitamin G and Nikki Hill. We were playing online, and we played 3 games. We played 3 games in a row, and Worms games take a while, so we had a lot of fun there. We were talking with each other over Skype and laughing and being stupid. And oh my God, watching Nikki Hill play is the greatest thing in the world. He'll take so we set the turn limit to 90 seconds to make sure we have plenty of time to do everything. And he'll take so much time, setting up his shot or whatever move he's going to do. And then he ends it all by hitting the wrong button.
Oh, no.
He shot himself so many times, standing on a ledge looking down at somebody. And I'd be like, Nikki Hill, you got to aim a little higher. You're going to blow yourself up. And he's like, all right. And he'd aim up a little bit. And as I'm saying, no, higher, he'd just blow himself up. He baseball batted someone. He baseball batted a worm on my team into one of his own worms and knocked both of them in the water.
Oh, no.
I love Worms. It's a lot of fun playing online. And I don't know how that rumor got started that you couldn't play online with friends, because you can. You just can't do a specific friend invite. So you just make the room and your friend joins the room. That's it. We did it. It didn't take 5 minutes. We played online, like I said. So yeah, you don't have to worry about your friends not being able to join you because they can. So I played that. And last night, Nikki Hill, myself, and John the Savage went online to play 9 Parchments, which is a game I've been really excited about.
Excuse me. It's pronounced Parchments.
9 Parchments. So that's from Frozen Byte, the guys who did Shrine.
Frozen, Disney Frozen. It's based on the movie.
It's the guys who did Shrine and Has Been Heroes. And this is basically like Gauntlet and Diablo together. I'd say it's a less how am I going to say this? It's a less complicated Diablo and a more complicated Gauntlet. So it's it's in between the two. And it's a dual analog, or it's dual joystick. So Left joystick moves you around. Right joystick is where you're aiming.
Wait, what's it called again?
9 parchments.
Oh.
And you pull a trigger to do your magic. And what you do is you hit the shoulder buttons to cycle between the spells that you have. So you have like an ice spell, and I guess it's a poison spell, and there's a fire spell. And you cycle through those as you're fighting. So like the ice spell you start out with is a beam. And you have mana for magic. So your mana is going to deplete eventually. And then you have to give it time to regenerate. But the ice beam takes the ice beam depletes your mana very slowly, so you can use it a long time, but it's not that powerful. Fire depletes your mana quickly, but you can take out enemies pretty quickly. It depends on what they're. I'm making this more complicated than this. So enemies have shields, and their shields are related to elements. So if an enemy has a blue shield, that means they're resistant to ice, so you have to use fire. So you use your fire, and like I said, fire uses a lot of mana. And then you have to like run and hide while your mana is filling back up. And you can get things to make that happen quicker, and you get different spells that use it in different ways. So it's all about leveling up your character and making it so that you don't have to wait for things to fill back up as much. And you get different spells too once you hit certain levels, or you have the choice of different spells. So like last night, I picked a spell for healing because I was the one that was staying alive in most of the battles. So I would cast a healing spell out for Nikki Hill and John the Savage so they could hang out in that circle and get their health back as they were fighting bad guys. And John the Savage got an ice spell that wasn't a beam. It was for shooting like giant icicles at enemies. And you can revive each other on the field, and it's kind of done in a cool way. When you walk over to an enemy to revive them, they have or when you walk over to a partner to revive them, they have a circle around them, and you stand inside their circle, and a line starts moving around the circle, and the line has to make one full revolution around the circle before your partner comes back to life. So you can't just walk over and hit a button and they come back to life. You have to stay there, which is difficult because there's guys shooting at you and all kinds of enemies flying around and stuff. You cumulative. Hi, Iwata. So yeah, I really like it. We were having a ton of fun. Like and again, we were playing online on the Switch, and we joined friends, no problem. And we were talking over Skype, and I had a blast. I really enjoyed it. And from what I hear, it's like a 10-hour experience. But I think it's going to take us longer because John the Savage and Nikki Hill both aren't used to games that use the right joystick to aim. So they're having trouble moving and aiming at the same time, but they're getting better. By the time we ended last night, they'd gotten a much better grip on it. So, yeah, like I said, I've talked about that game on a podcast before, and I've been looking forward to it. And I know Lube is, but Lube is fallen off the face of the earth, so I don't know when we're going to get to play with him. But John Savage got it, Nikki Hill got it, I have it, and Vitamin G is going to get it or already has it. So we're going to have our team of 4 to go out there and play. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. If you like Gauntlet or Diablo, you should really like this. It's got a nice art style. It's got a good soundtrack. You can listen to the whole soundtrack for free on YouTube officially. It's not some guy who ripped the audio and put it on there. It's actually from Frozen Byte. They put the whole thing up for you to hear. And it's accompanied by exclusive artwork as well. So as the songs change, you get special art for each track. Well, yeah, if you got, I think it's $20. If you're into those kind of games, you might want to check it out. And the other thing I got to point out is it's got a good amount of challenge. There's a lot of enemies going at once, and there's a lot of things to do. And if you're playing single player, I don't know if I'd suggest it because this game is definitely built for multiplayer. You get a much better experience that way. So if you're going in alone, I don't know if it's going to be the best choice for you. But if you have friends to play with, then I would highly recommend it. I'm really enjoying it. I think that's it.
Question?
I think that's it. Let's do a question.
Let's do a question.
You can send your questions to GoNintendoQuestions@gmail.com.
Where?
GoNintendoQuestions@gmail.com.
Where?
Hello, I'm an FNT Rex. And you can ask questions about Nintendo, or video games or whatever the hell you want.
Can I tell you, when you read that, I think that person's first name is I'm a Neffin.
It is. That's what his
It's like
first name.
Mrs. Doubtfire, Euphigenia. I'm a Neffin.
Hi, I'm an F.
Game Freak 613 says, what is the most popular KK Sliders song? I don't know. I don't know the names of them.
Yeah.
The one where he goes, E-O-I.
He says, what is your favorite KK Slider song? Oh, I know my favorite. It's the one that goes, ma beep bo beep ba ba beep ba bo.
Yeah, that's nice.
Ba beep ba beep ba beep ba
Are you conky
ba
right
beep
now?
bo beep ba beep ba beep beep bo. I don't know what that one's called, but that's my favorite. Beep ba ba beep ba bo. Whatever that one is. Come on, somebody knows the name of that one. Cruisin' is probably the most popular now that I think about it. I know a lot of people like Cruisin'. If you could have one power up from the Mario series in real life, what would you choose?
The one where you get in the boot.
It's a power up you want is sitting in an old boot?
So no one can find
Old
me.
boot.
And I can just do whatever I
giant
want and
old
not get
boot.
hurt.
Why did you pick that one? That's your serious answer.
I'd pick any of the ones that could let you fly.
Yeah.
I give myself
either
a
the
nice-
cape or the.
Sometimes
Yeah, I don't know
wings.
if I do the cape because I feel like the cape would be more difficult than the tail. Because with the
you're right.
cape, you gotta like, wow.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have the tail. Now that you mentioned.
I gotta go through them to think
I
about
mean, the
what
star
I
is
mean,
probably everybody's.
yeah, but the star only lasts for a little while.
That's true.
Also, if you like have the star and like touch one of your friends, would that kill them?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I want it.
Then
Then I definitely want it.
I mean, fire flower would be really cool. That'd make you like.
Whoop.
He doesn't spit them out of his
I would.
mouth.
I would.
Fire flower would be cool. Obviously, nobody wants mushroom because that just makes you bigger.
I've had enough of
You
that.
don't want that. Hammer Brothers outfit would be kind of cool, but I guess it's not really a superpower. Like I could be a Hammer Brother now.
I could throw hammers at people anytime I want.
Exactly. There's Cloud Mario, where you make cloud platforms. There's Bee Mario, where you can fly,
I'm forgetting all the new ones.
but you can't last a long time that way.
Yeah, right. I've been wanting to last long.
There's Boo Mario. I don't know what that really gets you though. You fly, I guess, but
I mean, I'm kind of like Boo, right? Like I look at people and
It's
then
like
they look
Boo.
back at me and I'm like, nope, never mind.
I'm trying to think of what other ones there are. Honestly, I'm forgetting a whole bunch. Let me go through. All right, so Super Mario Bros. 3 has the Hammer Brother. It has the Fire Flower. It has
The Tanuki suit.
the Tanuki suit. It has the frog suit.
Yes.
I would not take the frog suit. It'd be funny, but yeah, not too
my God.
practical.
Remember that picture of Mario and Luigi in the frog suits, but it was like realistic?
Yes. I think that's it for that game. Super Mario World has the cape and Yoshi. That's not really power, although
You can't really wear Yoshi.
Game Freak 613 says I choose Yoshi. That counts.
Okay.
Yeah, what other powers are there in Super Mario World? You get the feather for the cape, and you get the fire flower.
Right.
Is there anything else?
I don't remember.
This is terrible. Super Mario 64 has Metal Mario.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you would do with that.
It would make you really heavy,
Yeah, make you not want to move.
right?
There's the wing cap, but that doesn't last the whole time. Is that it for that?
I don't know.
Okay. Sunshine doesn't have flood doesn't count as a flood would be kind of cool to have because you could fly and you can shoot people with it. I don't know. I kind of like flood. Oh, the balloon. Drew says the balloons in Super Mario World. Just take the big balloon, get fat, and float up. Well, man, I guess I'll go with one of the flying ones. I'm not going to go through every single game, but I'll go with the flying one, but I'm going to take the rabbit ears.
Okay.
So not really flying, just kind of slowly falling.
Oh, the rabbit
From
ears
Super Mario Land
Six
2.
The 6 golden.
As long as I can have that moon song playing every time I get those ears. Oh my god, that moon song is so good. Thanks for your question, Game Freak 613. I appreciate it. Again, let me see.
For some reason,
We have a lot of questions, but we can always use more. So.
For some reason, being on the moon always has like the best music in video games.
Yeah, right? What is it about?
It's a cool place to be.
I guess so. Made of cheese.
Okay, let's do some music, Mom Brain. Do you have it already there?
I mean, for the most part. All right. So.
I got music. You want to hear it? You want to hear it? Oh.
All right. First song comes from Alien Boy VA.
Earthbound?
Nope.
Super Nintendo?
No.
GBA?
No.
DS?
Yes, I were.
Oh, forget it.
Okay.
Is it like an art style?
It is?
Yeah.
Which one? I only played one of them.
What one? I don't remember their names.
Oh my God,
Lightspeed.
No.
I played Acquios.
No. Not it.
Come on, we know it's an art style
I
game.
think so.
Partial credit.
I say full credit.
Well, you're the boss. It was art style base 10.
I would never remember.
Next song comes from Glitter Bubble Free.
Now, this has to be a portable.
Nope.
What?
It doesn't have
What is this?
SNES.
Demon's Crest.
No.
Actraiser.
No.
Actraiser 2.
Lufia.
No.
Deep Breath of Fire.
No.
Eye of the Beholder.
No. It's a bubble.
Lagoon.
No.
Is it RPG? Dragon's Quest.
I couldn't tell you.
Final Fantasy.
No.
Secret of Evermore.
Bahamut Lagoon.
Nope.
Ogre Battle.
Nope.
I feel like it's going to be the one we forgot. Sword of Mana.
No.
Secret of
Mana.
No.
Castlevania.
No.
Dragon's Quest.
Illusion of Gaia.
No.
Oh. All right, go ahead.
It was Spawn.
Was it real?
Yes.
The comic?
Yep.
That's great.
This one comes from Kaibons.
Well, here's our downfall. All right, it's Super Nintendo or N64? It sounds like Super Nintendo.
It is Super Nintendo.
Okay. I don't even know what type of game it is. A shooter? Like a space shooter?
I don't think so.
Racing.
I don't know.
And they're really going for it with this song. We don't know. Go ahead.
Spider-Man and the X-Men in Arcades
Oh
Revenge.
my dear Lord! I was gonna guess a superhero game.
You should have. This one comes from Mikey3319.
This is Super Nintendo as well?
Yeah. Really gets you right here.
An Olympics game.
No.
RPG?
I don't think so.
American Gladiators.
No.
It sounds kind of familiar, but I'm not sure why.
I believe it's licensed.
Peter Pan.
No.
Hook, I mean.
The Flintstones.
Nope.
Tiny Toons.
No.
The Jetsons.
No.
Man, we're doing terrible. We have 0.5 points for this trivia section. We don't know. No. Total Recall.
No.
Super Nintendo.
Is this a Schwarzenegger movie?
I think it could be.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not.
Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cliffhanger.
Yep.
Oh my god! Nicely done.
Oh
It was Cliffhanger. Great job.
Never saw that movie.
I saw it once.
That sounds like a movie night movie to me.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
After
feel
the
like it's
holidays.
probably like 2 hours long though.
I watched a
Nah.
Hallmark movie.
Just feels that
You
way.
get to watch Stallone beat up John Lithgow at the end.
Oh well. Spoiler.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, this one comes from Andy the Zombie.
All right, it's a Metroid game.
Yep.
Let's. 2 Echoes.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
Yep. Next song comes from Wired.
Okay, this is Zelda.
Yep.
But which ones? Skyward Sword? No, this is Breath of the Wild.
Sure is.
It's one of the divine beasts.
It is.
Vanabora. I don't know.
The fire one.
I don't remember the name of it.
It is.
Fario.
This next one comes from the Sacred Wolf. It's coming.
Oh, I love this song, but I don't know what it's from. Damn it. Hold on, no, quiet. Oh, I know what it's from. I'm going to let it go. Because we got time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is Yoshi's Woolly World.
If you could put our cat on a leash and take him for a walk, this is the song that we play.
Man, it's so good. When people are angry, I want to play them this song. I just want to sit them down and just be like, listen, just listen. Okay.
The next one comes from.
That was Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah, this one comes from Naka.
Wave Race!
Yep. Yeah.
What is
Wave
it, title screen?
Southern Island.
Oh, okay,
Next
sure.
one comes from Nate or Die.
All right, I'll guess Kid Icarus right
No.
after that. Oh. System.
3DS.
Smash Brothers.
No.
Well, Xenoblade.
No. No.
What games would use art as an RPG?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, you know, I might have.
Bravely Default.
It is.
Hey!
Bravely
That's why I
Default.
couldn't answer.
I had to sift through new RPGs.
Last song from Jet Jaguar.
Focus All Attacks.
You both played it, I think.
So it's going to be on Wii or DS?
DS.
We both played it on
I
DS.
think so. I know Rami played it. I'm pretty sure Kirby played it.
Series?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Series.
I don't think so, but
Not first party.
no.
Trace Memory.
No.
That is published first party. Come on, Kirby. We played this.
I said I think.
And it's a DS game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hotel Dusk.
No.
Last Window?
No.
What was the one about the ghost? Is it about a ghost?
Ghost Trick.
Ghost Trick?
Nope.
I don't know why, but I really want to get this.
999?
Oh!
You did play that, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. That didn't ring a bell for me at all.
What is bell sounding?
The
music
nonary
to it?
game. The nonary game.
So, let's just go through this. You got art style.
Well, 0.5.
So you didn't get Spawn.
No.
So 9. You didn't get Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah.
Nope.
8. So you got 7.5 points.
All right, I'll
We
take it.
pulled it out. We pulled it out at the end.
Great job. Well, that's the way to do it. Pull it out at the end. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Can you please not sully this show with your dirty remarks?
That's not dirty. That's smart. Okay.
Wolf says, great show, guys. Well, I say, Wolf, great job in the chat. You really did a great job in there today. You're the chat ringleader.
Wow.
Chat general.
Is that official?
Chat Master General.
Chat Master General. Yes, it's official right now. Wolf, the Chat Master
I feel
General.
like someone should be named the Chat Master General.
Wolf, you
Every
got
week.
it. It's his name. All right, well, that's our show. Stick around for the after show, and I'll talk about anime.
Talk about my butt.
Have a great weekend. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Yay.
All right, let's do some after show. Let's talk about anime, or as I call it, anime.
Weirdo.
Or as I call it, Japanimation.
Japanese animation, or as I call it, weeaboo crap.
Or as my father calls it.
So I've taken a recommendation on an anime series that I would not have normally watched. Not because I'm like, nope, I'm not going to watch that. Just because, you know,
Because it has education in the title, does it not?
no, something related. I don't know. It's just not the typical genre of anime that I would watch.
Uh-huh.
But after suggestions, I thought I'd give it a shot. So I checked out My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia.
Is it like about school kids?
There is a school in it.
I figured. There's always a school.
So let me tell you. I'll tell you what it's about. It does involve kids at a school, but
Is there a senpai?
there is a senpai.
Uh,
So in this school, well, let's start from somewhere else. In this world, in the world of My Hero Academia, which is our world but in the future,
right.
people have started to develop superpowers,
Oh.
and they become the norm for society. like it's 80% of people, I think they say, are born with some sort of superpower. But in the show, they call them quirks. You have a quirk. So somebody's quirk is like they can grow really big. Or somebody's quirk is they can harden their skin.
Right. They're they're mutants basically.
Yes. Now, you can use these abilities, at everyday jobs. Or if you want, you can try and become like a superhero. So they have a superhero like school, basically. And not a lot of people take that route. A lot of people go the route of I'll use my quirk to help me in my daily job. Like, this guy has like the ability to use electricity. He can create electricity out of his hands, but they're saying like that's you can get a really good paying job at any number of positions because you can just make the electricity for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it follows this one kid who wants to go to this school. It's like a graduate school for superheroes. It's where you go when you're the upper echelon, where like you're going to become like a superhero. So superheroes aren't just like, I'm a superhero. They go with an agency and they become a sidekick for the agency. So the agency is run by like a big deal superhero, and they take on sidekicks, and it's kind of like the police. They send them out on jobs. They're like, all right, some guy's robbing a bank, stretchy arms and whoever, you go out and stop him. So he wants to go to this school. The thing is, he doesn't have a quirk. He's one of the 20% that was born without a quirk. So he kind of gets bullied in school because of it, in particular by one guy who's an asshole. But it's about him finding a way to get to this school. And he meets up with this character. His favorite superhero is this guy called All Might. And All Might is basically like Superman and Hulk Hogan together. Okay. And all of his like special moves are like a United State. And he says smash after it. So he'll like punch somebody and say Delaware smash or like Texas smash or something like that. So he's like a big, American traditional superhero. He's a real American. Yes, a real American. So he meets All Might. And for those who haven't watched, I guess I'm kind of spoiling the first couple episodes, but it's the whole point of the show. All Might, his favorite superhero, is losing his abilities. Why? I'm not going to tell you because that's too much of a spoiler. But he can pass these abilities on to one person. And he decides he's going to pass it on to this kid. Now, it's not just like, here you go, you got it, you're good to go. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. But yeah, not the typical anime I would watch, but I gave it a shot based on somebody's recommendation, and I really like it. I don't follow superhero stuff all that much. Like, I'm not against it. My problem is there's so much out there, and it has such a long history that I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do. So with My Hero Academia, I can start right at the beginning, like the anime season 1. That's it. So I can get in on the ground floor and understand where everybody's coming from. And I really like it. It's a lot of fun. There's some battles that span like multiple episodes, kind of in the style of like Dragon Ball Z, but it's not like an episode like it's not like 30 minutes of somebody going like and powering up. Like stuff's going on the whole episode. Then an arc at the end of the first season that I really liked that happens across 3 episodes. It was fun. But yes. So one of the best thing about the shows is, and I don't know if it's because it's Japanese and they have a different way of approaching it, there's so many superpowers that people have that I've never seen anywhere else. And some of them are just funny, and some of them are kind of lame, and some of them are really cool. But they have like all different kinds of unique ideas. Like there's this one guy who can grow multiple body parts. So like they're in this one building and he's trying to hear where the bad guys are. So he grows like 2 extra ears and he's like listening all around. And he's like, I can hear them over here. Blah. There's this one guy who's fire and ice. Half of them's fire and half of them's ice. So he can use both of those. There's one guy who's my favorite and you hardly see him. Oh God, what was his name? It was so dumb. Basically his power is concrete. His face is just like a big cinder block.
Okay.
His name is like Concreto or something. What? Cementos. That's Cementos. He's my favorite, and he's been in it for like 5 minutes all the time.
What exactly does he do?
He just like touches the ground and like and a wall pops out.
Okay.
It's so funny. Like, this is what he's done in the show. He's walked by a couple classrooms. He made one wall. That's all he's done. But I love him. Cementos. Oh my God. Watch the show for the
name.
No, he's got like a very blank expression, and it's just literally like a cinder block for a head.
He's stone faced.
Yes, but I was like, that's kind of a lame power. And then All Might is talking to him, and he's like, "Thanks for your help, Cement." The name really seals the deal for me. But there's cool superheroes. There's a guy who can like, well, obviously there's villains too. It's a guy who can basically touch someone and their skin and flesh like breaks, like shatters. So he doesn't really have to do too much. Oh man. But yeah, I've been watching that. I like it. So if you're into anime, maybe you should check that one out. It's free on Crunchyroll. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. I don't have a subscription to Crunchyroll. I want to get one. I should just do that so I don't have to watch the commercials. But to tell you the truth, I don't mind the commercials because they show me about new anime that I didn't know anything about. Hey, you watch Kino's Journey? Kino's Journey?
Kino's Journey.
Yeah, like a girl on a motorcycle.
I don't think I did.
Oh no, you did. Now and Then, Here and There.
Yeah, I don't think I ever finished watching it.
Never mind then. Everything okay? All right, well, that's my anime talk. That's it. Go watch My Hero Academia. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you have a great weekend.
Whoa.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.